Hey guys, it's Daniel, and for today's trainer tip, what I wanted to talk about was shin splints. I want to give you guys just a little brief explanation as to one of the most commonly known ways um, that produces the onset of shin splints, and then give you guys some tips and tricks as to how you can correct it, prevent it, or tell a friend about it. So I'm gonna just stick to one version of the shin splint here. Okay, so the shin splint can be called a shin splint due to bone trauma to the shin, or it can also be muscular trauma, which is often caused by overuse. So too much running, jumping, hopping, anything that is a pretty dynamic movement that is done for a prolonged period of time may inflame the tibialis anterior, which is one of the muscles, the major muscles in the front part of the shin here that is responsible for lifting our toes up like this. So it's very active in running and those sorts of motions, as it really helps control the foot while you're making impact with the ground and such. So it's also very thin and therefore pretty susceptible to micro trauma when put through lots of repetitive motions. A really good way to address shin splints is primarily by stretching. Okay, so it's not very easy to stretch the tibialis anterior because it often stretches itself out as we walk and our foot goes into plantar flexion like this. So what we can do is we can stretch all the surrounding musculature so that ideally we can have a perfect balance of the lower leg, and that should essentially also help maintain the integrity of our tibialis anterior. So one really good exercise or stretch that you guys could do is if you have a block or a book or something, you would like to, you would want to do a calf stretch, so a gastroc stretch. And then how you would do that is you would take the block, put the feet on it like this, and you would lean into it. You could have something in front of you for support, and you're going to get a good, nice calf stretch there, okay? Another way that you can also stretch the calves and stretch the soleus, so which is the muscle that is underneath of the gastroc, the thinner portion of the calf, is to do that exact same stretch, but in a seated position if you could, or in standing with your knees bent. So it would be something like this. And that's going to feel a little bit different than the standard standing straight up stretch. Okay, so another thing that you would also want to address, and this is one of the things that is commonly tight when assessing the shin splints of a runner, is their hips, their IT band. So the IT band is a muscle that attaches at the top part of the hip, and it runs all the way down to the lateral side of the knee here. If the IT band is tight, it can produce a little bit of a biomechanical nuisance in the lower body, which can also be one of those attributing factors to developing shin splints. So if you would want to stretch the IT band, a really simple way to do this is to cross the leg behind you like so, and then you kind of just lean out and in like that. Okay, so ideally you'd want to hold this for a longer count, and you can switch depending on which side you're going to be stretching. So if you want to stretch the left IT band, left leg is on the back. If you want to stretch the right IT band, the right leg would be in the back, and you would kind of just lean the hip away that way and the body up the body this way. Okay, hold that for a 10 count, 20 count, 30 count. Do a couple of sets of that. You should feel a really good stretch. Another thing that you can also do that is pretty beneficial and has been shown, and a lot of people benefit from this, is rolling out the shin. So to roll the shin out, you would grab a foam roller or any such similar piece of equipment, and you would place it underneath the shin like so, and you could just roll it out like this. Okay, you could do that a couple of minutes, both sides. And last thing that I want to show you is a tool that I've got here for some scraping. Now, for those who don't have these tools, you can always use the dull end of a butter knife, okay? And what you would want to do is, if you had any lotion, cocoa butter, or coconut oil or anything like that, You can apply that to the front part of your shin. You could even apply it a little bit into the IT band area where it connects right here if you feel like there's some tightness going on right there as well. And you would just make these smooth downward motions all the way from the top to the bottom of the shin. You could get that on both sides. The tibialis anterior typically only runs from the middle to the lateral side of the shin, but there's some other structures in there that you could always just kind of scrape out because there's a lot of connective tissue in there that may also be a little tight. And if you have that soreness in the IT band that may be contributing to it, you could kind of start from up here before you make your way down. You do that 5 minutes or so on both sides. You don't have to be too aggressive with it or anything. But if there is some tightness and there is a little bit of fibrosis going on there, which could be leading to those shin splints, you'll probably be able to feel it through your tool or your butter knife, or even a Gatorade cap could work. So, kind of to recap, one of the most important things to prevent shin splints is that very thing itself, prevention. So always stretch, stretch, stretch. Have adequate warm-ups and cool-downs after doing lower body exercises or going out for some runs. And make sure you take care of those shins, okay? So thanks for watching, guys.